Hello, everyone. How are you? Welcome to today's webinar. My name is Katie Simpson, and I'm an ESL instructor here at beautiful College of the Canyons. I also work at ISP, and we are so excited that you are here to join us for today's webcast. I think you're really going to enjoy it, and we'll have a lot of fun. So let's get started. I'm going to share my screen with you so you can see today's topic. Today, we are going to be talking about informal versus formal English. So let's get started. What are our learning objectives? What are we going to do today? Well, by the end of this webinar, you will be able to differentiate or tell the difference between informal and formal English. You will also be able to use these two types of English correctly in the appropriate settings. So let's continue. What is the relevance of this topic? Why is it important? Why are we studying informal and formal English? Well, we need to know the difference because it's important to know when to use these types of English in order to show respect, to make friends, and to use language appropriately. That's really important. We want to make sure that we are using the appropriate language with the appropriate people, appropriate settings. So that's what we're going to look at today. First, we're going to look at informal English. When and how do we use informal English? Well, we use it in everyday conversations, maybe text messages with friends or family. If you have an improvised speech, something you haven't really prepared, you're just winging it and saying it from the top of your head. We also use it with phrasal verbs. Remember phrasal verbs, that fun grammar, words that have those two little verbs together, like hang out, put off, give up, break up. Those little words, which are difficult in English, but we actually use them a lot in informal English. We also use contractions a lot, right? When we make the words a little shorter, like can't or don't or won't. So we use those contractions a lot in informal English. And we also use abbreviated words, right? Like OMG, I'm sure you've heard that one for oh my gosh, right? We make it a little bit shorter because it's more informal that way. We can speak it much quicker and easier, which is why it's shortened or more simplified speech. So it's a little bit more simple language. That's how we use this informal English. And the uses and settings of informal English, like we mentioned before, we use it with friends, family, and peers, like your classmates, maybe even colleagues, right, at work. We use it in informal social settings, maybe at home with your family, in class with your friends and classmates, maybe even with your teacher. If you're very close, you can still have informal English in a respectful way. And you can also use it at a party or a social gathering. That's when we use our informal English. You can even use informal English in writing. For example, in text messages or on social media, like your Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, or WeChat, or in casual emails. So it is possible to use this informal English in your writing and your speaking. It just depends on the audience. It depends on the person you're speaking to. Make sure that you know the person well, you're comfortable with them. Otherwise, somebody might think you're a little bit impolite if you use your informal English in a formal setting. So I wanted to show you a few examples from some movie and TV clips. I'm going to open this up right here. And hopefully you can see that there. Let me share my sound with you so that you can look at this video. Hopefully you can see it okay. And we're going to watch this little video and it will show some of this informal language that actors and actresses use on TV and in movies. So I hope you enjoy it. Feel free to take some notes if you would like. Here we go.
How are you?
Fine, thanks.
Hello, how are you?
Fine.
fine, thank you.
How are you today?
Fine, thank you.
How's it going? Fellas, how's it going? How's it going, dudes?
How's it going?
Good, just...
How's it going there?
Armando, this place is like a fortress.
How's it going? He's doing very well.
How's it going?
It's going very well, thanks.
How's it going?
Very well, thank you.
How's it going, honey? Not very well.
How's it going? It's going all right. How you been?
How you doing?
Hey.
Hi, Joey.
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing? Fantastic.
How you doing?
I'm good. Hi.
Laurie, how you doing? I haven't talked to you in forever.
I'm good. I'm good.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm good.
How you doing?
I'm good, man. Good. How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
I'm great. I like your store.
Palmer, how you doing?
I'm great.
So, how are you doing?
Great.
I'm okay. How you doing, Ben? I'm okay. You been doing okay? I'm doing okay.
How you doing?
I'm well.
How you doing?
I'm well.
I'm doing okay, you know?
What's up, Joey?
What's up?
What's up?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
What's up?
We cool and ready?
Good, what's up?
Not much.
Hey, Andrew, what's up? Not much.
What's up, guys?
Not much.
Not much, Dyke. What's up with you?
So what's up?
Oh, nothing much.
What's up?
Nothing. Nothing much.
What is up?
Nothing. What's up?
Nothing. What's up with you?
What have you been up to?
I've been studying really hard.
And I've been studying for weeks.
So, what have you been up to?
Yeah, I've been working nonstop.
I've been working in radio.
What have you been up to?
Not too much.
What are you up to?
Nothing.
What have you been up to?
Skating.
What have you been up to?
Nothing much. Just making plans for the wedding.
What have you been up to?
I'm writing these really dumb items for New York Magazine.
What have you been up to?
Nothing much. Just rocking the entertainment industry. That's all.
All right. Well, let me exit out of here and go back to our presentation. So what did you think about the video and those TV and movie clips? Had you heard some of that informal language before? I hope. Here's just a little overview of some of that language that we heard in the video. We heard, how are you? I know you guys know that one. But another way you can say, how are you is, how's it going? How's it going? You can say, I'm doing good, right? A lot of times we use that. How's it going for how are you? We also say, how you doing? How you doing? Right? I'm sure you heard Joey from Friends. That's his famous quote, how you doing? But we also say it a lot. I often say, how you doing? You can use that to say, how are you? We also say, what's up? We say what's up a lot in an informal situation with friends or classmates. You can also say this, what have you been up to? And what have you been doing? This is a way that you can speak to someone who maybe you haven't talked to in a long time. If you say, long time no see, what have you been up to? Or what have you been doing? It's another very common greeting that we use in informal situations. So those are some fun ones you can use. You'll hear it every day. If you're in an English speaking country, a lot of people use them. So I hope seeing them on TV and in the movies gave you a little authentic context for that. So let's now look at this idea of slang. Do you guys know what slang is? It's another type of informal language or informal words that are not part of what is accepted as the correct use of language, right? It's still English, but it's not necessarily perfectly correct English. These slang words can be related to location, right? Depending on where you live, the words might change. Or it could be for a special group of people, right? For example, teenagers are a great example. They often use slang terms that maybe their parents or older people might not understand. I know there are a lot of slang words that teenagers use today that I don't even know yet because they're always changing, right? Slang changes with the times. There's modern slang words right now of 2021 that people did not use back in 2000, right? New slang words pop up or develop or appear constantly. And some stay popular for a while and some become obsolete and we don't use them anymore. So I'm sure you've heard a lot of slang words in English. We will look at some examples in a moment. But when is it appropriate to use slang? Well, just like informal language, we need to use it with trusted friends, peers, classmates, or family, right? People you're very comfortable and friendly with, someone who can understand jokes or sense of humor, someone you don't have to be very formal and professional with. And remember, slang might not always be used or understood with parents or people of an older generation. Maybe your parents or grandparents may not understand some of the slang words in your language or in English. So just keep that in mind if you're using slang. So let's look at some popular slang terms in English. Some of these I'm sure you know. I tried to think of some popular ones we use. Selfie, of course, you know, when you take a selfie with your camera, your cell phone of just you, a photo of yourself. We also say let's hang or let's hang out. That just means let's spend some time together. But it's more common to say, do you want to hang out or let's hang out? We also say chill out or chillax, which means relax. I'm just chilling out or I'm chillaxing. It means you're relaxing. We also say yup instead of yes. Maybe you've heard that. It's sort of a pronunciation slang. Yup instead of yes. And same with nope for no. You can say nope or yup. We use it a lot for informal language. There's also a new term, emo. Emo means you're feeling emotional or it's making you have a lot of feelings. A lot of young people say, oh, I'm so emo if something is making them feel nostalgic or sad or just sensitive about something. You can use that. We also have bestie, which you know, best friend, right? She's my bestie. You can also use the word unfriend. This has been popular with social media developing, right? If you unfriend someone, you delete them on your social media. They're not your friend anymore. You can unfriend them. So that's a new term coming about with new technology. Same with binge watch. Binge watch means you watch the same show on TV or on Netflix for many hours at a time. Many episodes of one show is a binge watch. So maybe that's relevant to many of you. I know when there's a good show, it's very easy to binge watch. You just keep watching and watching and continuing to watch it. Another funny one is hangry. That means if you're both hungry and angry, we combined those two terms of hungry and angry. So kind of a funny word. See, you see the HA, the H is for hungry and the angry is for angry. Do you get angry when you're hungry? I think a lot of people do. So it's this new term that has developed. And then just kind of a fun last one is fam. You can say fam for family. A lot of people say, oh, I'm just going to hang with my fam, which means spend time with your family. So this is a common one. I say fam a lot instead of family. So these are some popular slang terms that you might hear if you're in a native speaking country and in an informal situation. Some popular slang terms from the past that we still use. I'm sure you've heard these words. Cool, right? That's so cool. Or that's so rad. It means really cool or really good. Same with awesome. It means terrific or fantastic. That's awesome. And dude. Dude is a word you can use to call your friends. It started as just for men or boys, but I've heard it now for girls too. Hey, dude, what's up? Generally, it is for boys or men, but it could just be for a friend as well. So you can say, hey, dude. So here's a couple other popular slang terms you can use. What about on text messages and social media? Of course, we love text messaging, right? We send texts or emails every day. I'm sure you also use social media every day. So how do we use this informal English when we're sending a text message or when we're posting something on social media like WeChat or Facebook or Instagram or TikTok. Well, you can use a lot of these fun little abbreviations or acronyms. I'm sure you know this one. LOL, right, is for laugh out loud. OMG is for oh my gosh. Some of these might be new. HBU for how about you? If I say, oh yeah, I'm doing well. I'm just going to the supermarket. What about you? Or how about you? When I want to ask the same question back to someone. This one is a very popular one. IKR is, I know, right? It's if you agree with someone. If I say, oh, it's such a nice day today. And I could say, oh, I know, right? Means I agree with the person. It's very common to say that. This one too, easy but very common. IDK, I don't know. I don't know. You could send that in a text. Same with the TY, thank you, right? Or WID, what are you doing, is common in text messages. DM, this is a new one for a direct message. I think it came from Facebook and Instagram. You can send someone a private message, is a direct message. So I've heard people say DM me, means direct message me, or send me a private or direct message so that not everybody can see it. It's private. Here's another fun one, FOMO, F-O-M-O. We say FOMO means your fear of missing out. It means if you don't want to miss something, if all of your friends are going out to a really fun party and you have to stay home to do homework, maybe you are FOMO. You have fear of missing out on this really fun party with your friends. So we use this one quite often. If you are sad that you cannot join in an event that is really fun or exciting, you are sad you have to miss the event. You can say, oh, I'm FOMO. I have a fear of missing out. So that's a fun one. And this one too, ICYMI, in case you missed it. This is really common on social media. If someone's doing a post from the past, they might say, in case you missed it, here is something from last week, or in case you missed it, here is something really cool from last year, and they'll post it again so you can see it again as a little refresher or a memory. So those are some of the common ways that we use informal English in a text message or on social media. So I'm sure you've seen some of these before, but feel free, use them in an informal situation with a friend or family member or classmate. All right, let's take a look now at our formal English. Formal English is a little bit different than our informal English. So when and how do we use formal English? Well, we use it in official or literary or academic contexts, right? These are more educational, more complex, more academic, like you would see on the news, maybe on TV or in a newspaper. You'll use formal English at a job interview, or if you're writing a cover letter or a job application. If you're giving a speech, if you've prepared a speech, maybe at a graduation or for a speech contest, you would use formal English. Any professional situation, like we talked about, a job interview or competitions, or any time when you are speaking to someone of authority, right? Not just a friend or family member. And you'll notice this formal English is a little bit longer and more complex. The sentences might be longer. The vocabulary might be a little bit more difficult and complex. Let's look at some of these examples of when we use our formal English. When we're writing or speaking to someone of authority, like we talked about before, like in a professional or business setting, or an academic setting, like at school, or to an older person, right? Sometimes we need to speak to someone who is older than us. And many times you can use informal English if it's a close grandparent or relative. But maybe if you're speaking to someone who you don't know as well, who's a little bit older, and you want to show respect, you would want to use more formal English with that person. So let's look at some examples. A big difference between formal and informal English are our contractions, right? In formal English, you'll want to use the full form of the word, right? Instead of using can't, you would probably use cannot. And this is the same in your writing. If you are writing something formal, like a cover letter or an essay in your English class, you would use cannot instead of can't, and do not instead of don't. So keep in mind, for formal English, we usually don't use the contraction, we use the full word. Same with phrasal verbs. We talked about phrasal verbs, how we use them a lot in informal English, but in formal English, we'll use the single word. So for example, the phrasal verb would be found out, like I just found out some really good news, would be informal, but discovered would be the more formal word that we would use, right? I just discovered some new research. It's a little bit more formal. So keep in mind the phrasal verbs are for informal English and the single words are for formal English. Also informal words versus formal words, right? Like if I say, oh, I'm so sorry, it's a little informal, maybe for a friend or a family member. But if you say, I apologize, that's a little bit of a bigger, more complex word that maybe you would use in a professional situation, maybe with a colleague or at a job interview, something like that. So those are some examples of formal English, right? Now let's see if we can see the difference between our formal English and our informal English. I have two sentences here. One is formal and one is informal. Let's see if we can tell the difference. Look at this one. As the price of $5 was reasonable, I decided to make the purchase without further thought. There's one sentence. Look at this one. It was like $5. So I was like, okay. What do you think? Which one is formal and which one is informal? Take a look. It should be pretty easy, especially the way I was saying it. But this one, the first one is actually much more formal. The second one is much more informal, right? Using like. I'm sure you've heard this if you hear an American speak. We say like all the time. I was like, oh my gosh, or it was like so hot, right? We use like a lot when we're speaking informally, but you probably don't want to use like if you're on a job interview or you are talking to your professor. It's very informal for friends. And then what about bucks? Do you know this word? It's a slang word for dollars. We use it in our speech all the time. It was $5 instead of $5. Right? And then again, we use like for the word say. Instead of saying, so I said, okay, we say, so I was like, okay. This is very informal English that you will hear quite often. If you hear someone say, I was like, yeah, it means I said, yeah. So that's what it means when someone uses like to talk about something they said. So there's a little example of a formal and informal English sentence. Let's look at another one. We've got two sentences here. Which is formal and which is informal? I asked the mayor if we were prepared for the earthquake, and she said we weren't ready yet. Or when questioned about earthquake preparedness, Mayor Kim explained that the city still has more extensive work to complete. What do you think? This one's a little harder because we do have two longer sentences. What do you think? Hopefully you're thinking in your head that the first one is formal and the second one, I'm sorry, the first one is informal. See, you guys should be teaching me this. The first one is informal and the second one is formal, right? They use bigger vocabulary words. And notice here, I asked the mayor, and this is when questioned about earthquake preparedness. It's just more formal language, right? So that's another little difference you can see there. Noticing here, it says, she said we weren't ready. This says, Mayor Kim explained the city has more extensive work to do, just more complex language there. So it's a little bit more formal. So there's another example of two different sentences of formal and informal English. All right, so I hope that was helpful to see the difference. You guys had some examples. Feel free to go back and look at some more of those examples to practice in your everyday speech when you're speaking with friends and family. Hopefully some of that slang and informal English will be really fun to use and experiment as you're speaking. So I wanted to just give you a quick little assignment if you want. Of course, you don't have to do this, but just for a little fun and practice, to practice your formal and informal English, I'd like you to think about writing two different emails. One email can be to your instructor asking for help on a homework assignment, and the other email could be to a classmate asking for help about a homework assignment. So in these two emails, they're both emails, but practice using formal English with your instructor or your professor and informal English with your classmate. So you could actually send it if you want to, if you really do have a question about an assignment, or you could just do it for practice using some of this formal and informal language. Just a little extension piece of homework to do if you would like. So I had a great time with you guys today. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you learned some useful and relevant information that you can use in your formal English at school and your informal English with your friends and family. So I hope you enjoyed it. I really enjoyed being here with you today. Here on this page, we just have our ISP information. We have our email and our website. You can visit or contact us there. We also have some really cool social media sites. If you'd like to visit us here, you can use some informal language here. We'd love to chat with you on any of these with all of the new abbreviations that we learned today. OMG. So hopefully we see you on social media or in real life here at College of the Canyons someday. I'll stop my share so I can see you. Thanks again for visiting and joining us. We'll see you soon in Santa Clarita at College of the Canyons. Bye-bye.